In our last session we understood about data types, right? In today's class we will see about the next one, fixed length, under that numeric data type. So numeric data types are used to store numbers actually. Okay, numbers like if you want to store some counts, or you want to store amount or quantity, any numbers you want to store, in that case you can use numeric data type. Okay, there are different types like integer, it's denoted by I, integer 8, denoted by INT8, and floating point denoted by F, then packed decimal denoted by P, and also if you want an additional decimals you can also say decimals. Okay, and decimal place here 2 or 3 decimals you want, and then you have decimal float 16 and decimal float 34. Okay, so these are the data types we have. Okay, let's understand about one by one. So first one is integer. Okay, so here earlier we were able to provide the length for character, numeric character, and also for hexadecimal, but here the length can only be used for packed decimal. Okay, you cannot use any length for other data types. Okay, only for packed decimal you can use, but still it is limited. Okay, and here whenever you define or whenever you use the integer data type to define a variable, so system or the variable allocates around 4 bytes of memory. Okay, so you cannot increase or decrease the size of the memory. By default it takes 4 bytes of memory. Okay, so default value is 0, and it is mainly used to for storing any counts, or if you want to store any index numbers. Okay, you can use this. Okay, index numbers or count you want to do, in that case this can be used. Okay, and this can store, or let's say when you define a variable using integer data type, variable can store up to 10 numbers. Okay, not more than that. That means even though it is occupying 4 bytes of memory, it can store 10 numbers. That means numeric data types allocates less memory, right, compared to the character data type. So if you have 4 bytes in character data type, how many characters you can store? How many characters you can store if you have 4 bytes of memory?
2.
Yes, only 2 characters, right? But here you can store up to 10 numbers. That means numbers occupies less memory, right? So this is what integer data type. Let's see that in the system. So data, and let's say maybe I'll just say count type I. You cannot say length 10. You cannot increase or decrease the memory of this. Okay, you can only say type I. System automatically allocates 4 bytes, and inside count I can store up to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 numbers. And let's say write count. Okay, let's do pretty printer and I will show you in the debugger. I'll keep the breakpoint here and then execute. Count 0. That is the default value, guys. Okay, default value of the integer is 0. Okay, so right now this line not executed, so it is storing the default value. If you go and check in the memory analysis tab, you will be able to see I of 4, integer of 4, and the allocated object memory is 4 bytes. Okay, so that's where you can see, and I execute this line now. See, it's storing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 numbers. The moment you try to store and one more number, if it is a character data type, then it would have given, or it would have ignored the last number, but in the numbers it doesn't happen like that. Okay, it will throw you and dump an error saying that the program will stop execution here itself. You see, I added an additional number. Now if you see it, you are going to get an error saying that overflow during an arithmetic operation, because numbers are very much important, right? If you have 10 lakh and even in your bank account, and if the bank remove the last zero, does it matter to you? Only 1 0 if they remove from your bank balance. Will it matter? Right? 10 lakh can become 1 lakh. So numbers are very much important. So whenever you try to store any numbers in the integer data type, and if it is not able to store, if the memory is not sufficient to store that number, then system will give you an error saying that arithmetic overflow, right? So this is the dump that you will get. So remember this. Understood or not? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now if you want to store more numbers, so what SAP did recently, that means in the NetWeaver 7.5, so this data type introduced. It was not there in the old system. If you try in your system, that is NetWeaver 7.4, you will not be able to use it. Okay, it will throw unknown, but it is introduced recently. Everything is same, no difference. The only difference is memory, 8 bytes. Okay, 8 bytes means it can store up to 19 numbers. Same properties, no difference, just an additional memory. Okay, so let me comment this, and INT8, this is a new data type introduced. Let's say again another 9 numbers it can store because additional memory. Check for an error and then activate. So now count, if you go to the memory analysis, you will be able to see INT8. Just scroll to the right and then see allocated object memory is 8 bytes. Okay, so now if I execute, you see it can store additional, right? So since we wanted one more data type which can have and some more numbers it can store. So SAP introduced new data type called integer 8 from NetWeaver 7.5 onwards. If you are using lower version, then you may not be able to use this data type. Okay, so let me execute. Now you see I'm just added another extra number. It won't be able to store. It can only store up to 19 numbers. That is what integer 8 data type. Same property but extra memory. Understood? Clear, everyone? Okay. The next one is floating point. This data type is actually replaced by the decimal float. Okay, but let's understand. So it occupies 8 bytes of memory and default value is like 0 and then 16 zeros, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 and E and plus 0 0. What is this? I'll explain it to you. We will see that in the system. And also it is mainly used to store large numbers when accuracy is not important. Okay, it's used to store the large number when accuracy is not important. Okay, otherwise you don't have to use. If you are not worried or your company is not worried about accurate value, in that case you can use it. Okay, why that? We will see that now. Okay, so now you see here I say data and then we will say LV underscore float or anything. I'll just say float type F and float equal to some numbers we will store, maybe 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and then I'll just write it to the display. So do pretty printer and then activate, and after that I'll keep the breakpoint here and then execute it. Okay, so now observe guys carefully. So float, you see 0 and then 16 zeros and E 0 0. What is this value? So now what I'm doing, actually I'm trying to store number 1 2 3 4 5, right? I'm trying to store number 1 2 3 4 5, but how this value will be converted to floating point? This is a floating point. This is how the floating point stores the data, but I'm trying to store 1 2 3 4 5. So what happens here? The first number that you see, 1, that will be stored here. Okay, and 2 3 4 5, the 4 numbers will be moved to the decimal place. This is unit place and other 4 numbers will be moved to the decimal place. And since the 4 numbers are belongs to unit place, okay, the last 0 zeros will be updated with 4. That means 4 indicates that 4 numbers which are exist in the decimal place are belongs to unit place. This is how the floating point will store the data. Let me execute and show you. I press on this button. Now you see 1 2 3 4 5 and 0 4, indicating that these 4 numbers are belongs to unit place, right? So now let's say for example you have maybe like this. You also have the decimal place, right? Decimal and another 4 number. What happens now? Any of you? Anybody, any idea what happens now? Hello. What do you think? What happens? Same, no changes, you see, but still it is 4 indicating that these 4 numbers are belongs to unit place, but these numbers are belongs to decimal place. Understood? Any doubts? Hello, are we clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next one is
Sir, it
yeah.
should have been 8, no, sir.
No, why 8? Only 4 numbers from unit
Because
place.
of this decimal, no, we have to take the count.
No, it will
E
not.
of
No.
place.
That is whatever the last number that you see, right? If any numbers, this is unit place, correct, Aishwarya? This is decimal place, right? If these numbers are
Unit place means 5.
sorry,
Unit place is 5, no.
5, but one number is already there in the unit place, right? Okay, let me execute and show you again. See, one number is already there in the unit place, correct? But these
Okay.
4 numbers are moved to decimal place. How we will know, or these numbers are belongs, there are other numbers also, right? How many numbers are belongs to unit place? How we will know? With this
Okay.
one.
4, okay.
Understood?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Just a minute. Let's go back again.
So, Rajri, so what cases we have to use this data type here?
Sometimes what happens, you'll be doing some calculations. The result may be too big. Your data types may not be able to hold other data types. In that case, this is useful. Not every time, but only in few cases. But even now, this has been replaced with the new data types, decimal, float, 16 and 24. Why it has been replaced, we will see that. Okay. Okay, the next one is packet decimal. Okay, so packet decimal, let's say uh, by default, or else let's say it allocates 8 bytes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sorry, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
So, what is the benefit of giving this format of data type, taking the unit place to the decimal place?
Okay, so basically what happens, like the memory is 8 bytes, right?
Yes.
So if you want to store 2000 numbers in an variable, will it be possible?
No, sir.
Not possible, right? Because of the memory.
Yes.
But still we don't want to get any dumps, means we don't want any errors. Then how system should handle it? Now you see this much big number I'm trying to store, system still stores without giving any error. See, all of these are being removed.
Yes.
And indicated that total 75 numbers are moved from decimal to unit, unit to decimal place. Understood now?
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
Right, so this is the use.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And now the packet decimal, it allocates 8 bytes of memory by default, but you can increase or decrease memory of an variable You can increase or decrease the memory of an variable using length. Okay, the length can vary from, or length varies from 1 to 16 bytes. Okay, it varies from 1 to 16 bytes. Okay, and now default value depends, let's say 0, and if you are also saying that you need 3 decimal place, in that case you have 3 additional zeros at the decimal place. Okay, so this is mainly used to store amount or quantity values. Okay, amount or quantity values. Okay, so let's see this in the system. I go back and I comment this data amount type P. Okay, and let's say here amount equal to 100.99, and I'll have one more. Maybe let's take it as amount 1. Amount 2. So here I'll just store like 49. Do pretty printer and let's see. Okay, so there is no decimal place that I have provided. I have not indicated or told the system that there is also a decimal place in the number. It's saying period is missing. Check for an error, then activate. Okay, if you observe here, I am not saying that you please also store the decimal 2 or 3, right? I'm not saying that, I'm just saying type P. So system, what happens now? We observe amount 1 and amount 2. Okay, same, both are same data type, same memory. You can observe here P of 8 bytes by default as taken. You see 8 and 8, right? That is the memory allocated. So now observe carefully, guys. This is 100.99, right? 100 decimal place 99, something like that, and the below one is 49. This is greater than 50, the decimal place, but this one is less than 50, right? Whenever I execute this, you see what is happening. What happened here? It rounded off the value to the next possible number, right? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
So now you just see it is less than 0.50.
Yes.
If I execute this, it is rounding off the value to the previous number itself. That means it is ignoring the decimal place because it is less than 0.50, right? If it is greater than 0.50, it will round it off to the next possible number. If it is less than 50, then it will ignore the decimal place. This is the seal and this is the floor value. Seal value means next possible number, floor value means previous possible number. Okay, So let's say why this round off is happening. It's very important. At the time of creating a program, we had selected and checkbox. If you remember, we had selected and checkbox, fixed point arithmetic, right? By default it will be selected, right guys? Do you remember I told you I'll explain it to you when we discuss on this, right? Do you remember? When you select this checkbox, this will round the value to the next possible number or the previous possible number. When you don't select, then problem happens. It will ignore this decimal place and then it will store it like one number. So because of that reason, it is always recommended to select the checkbox. Let me show you. Attribute section, and then here you can just now I have removed it. The meaning of the number will be changed completely. Let's execute and see. Amount 1. Now you see what happened, right? So be careful whenever you create a program. Always select the checkbox, fixed point arithmetic. It's very important. Okay, so let me also write on this. If the checkbox is selected, it will round off the decimal place values to seal value if the value is greater than 0.50, 0.5 I can say, okay, or floor value if it is less than 0.50. Okay, so that's what the fixed point arithmetic checkbox will do. Anybody any doubts? Okay, let's go back and see. And now you can also tell the system that I'm also trying to store two decimal places. Like this you can inform, so then it will store, instead of rounding off the value, it will store the decimal places. Guys, please go and practice. Data types is very important. It's very basics, but without data types you cannot learn any programming. You should know the data types. So you see now this is the default value because I have two decimal places. If I execute now, it is not going to do any round off because there is a memory, or you are informing that please also store two decimal places. You see, this is what packed decimal. Anybody any doubts till now? Are we clear, guys?
Should I have some doubts from the beginning because of I unable to attend the beginning?
No problem. You just go through the recordings and let me know
Yes.
if you have any doubts.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So anybody any doubts, guys, till now? Are we clear? Okay.
So programming, this language is not case sensitive,
ABAP
right?
is
So
not
if
case
the data,
sensitive.
yeah. So if the data or type or the character and the data type what we are giving, if it is uppercase or lowercase, that doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter. You can use anything.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have to worry about the case.
Okay.
So now the next one is below data types, let's say below data types are introduced from NetWeaver 7.02, okay, and decimal float 16. So this allocates 8 bytes of memory. Okay, it is used to store large values. Default value is 0. Okay, what is the difference between floating point and this decimal float? Why it's been replaced? The reason is it always stores data in this format, but decimal float 16 or 34 is not like that. Okay, till some extent, till some numbers, it will store the value like packed decimal initially for few numbers. Okay, it behaves like packed decimal. So when the memory is full, then the value will be converted as floating point. Till then you will have some accurate values. That is the reason this has been replaced with this data type. Okay, let's understand that. Just comment this line and data, and let's say DCFLOAT 16. I'll just say type DCFLO float 16, and I'll also declare one more for 34. The memory is only difference. Okay, the first one allocate 8 bytes, second one allocates 16 bytes of memory. That means more accurate value, more memory, more accurate value. So now you see, I'll just try to store some numbers. Okay, I'll store same number in both of them. Let's activate and keep breakpoint here. So now you see 16 and 34. Memory is 8 bytes, the second one is 34 bytes, sorry 16 bytes. You see now it is storing accurate value. Till some extent it will store like this. You see, still it is storing accurate value. The moment the memory is full, let's say for example I'll just add few more numbers. Okay, so now you see what happens. Initially it behaves like packed decimal, right, decimal float. Later the values will be converted to floating point. Now you see, let's say this one 34, but still it is storing some accurate value because memory is more compared to the 16. 34 can store more accurate values. Okay, you see, this is what decimal float. Understood? Guys, are we clear? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. These are the fixed length data types. Okay, so now let's understand about variable length data type. So variable length allocate memory at the program runtime based on data we store inside variable. Okay, So variable length data types will not allocate or decide the memory of a variable at the time of designing or writing the code. The memory of the variable will be decided after storing the data. Okay, and one more thing that we should remember is that when we don't uh, know the length of the data, otherwise let's say the length of the data only known at program runtime, then you can use this data types. Okay, you cannot use this every time because it occupies more memory compared to other data types. Okay, the length of the data only known at program, then you can use this data types. Okay, then you can use this data types. Okay, so there are two types again. One is string, other one is XString. So the difference is not too much difference, guys. It is mainly used to store alpha numeric data. The second one is like hexadecimal, exactly like hexadecimal, no difference, only the memory allocation. The memory will be allocated at program runtime, not at the design time. That is the only difference. Okay, so this one, this used to store data in 16-bit character format. That means, you know, right, we have seen in the last class 0 to 9 and A to F. Okay, so that is the only difference. There is no difference here. Both, for the first one behaves like character data type, the second one is like hexadecimal data type. The only difference is memory, right? Memory will be allocated at program runtime, not at the design time. Okay, let's see that. I'll just comment this. Data lv underscore string, let's say type, data type is string, and now I'll just store some value, ABAP data types. Okay, I'll also declare other data type also, lv underscore XString, type XString. And let's activate. So if you go and observe now, there is no memory allocated. You see 0. The moment you store the data, you see I execute this line. The moment I store the data, it's allocating the memory. See, if I go and change the data again, it again extends the memory. See, 21, right? So that's why we call it as variable length. Okay, the memory will be allocated at program runtime based on the data that we store, not at the design time. See, understood the difference between variable length and the fixed length? If it is a fixed length, either it would have given the dump, otherwise it would have ignored the data if memory is exceeded. right guys? Since it is variable length, the length of a variable will be decided, or the memory of a variable will be decided based on the data we store in application layer. Anybody, any doubts so far? We are done with the data types. In the next class we'll jump back to the data dictionary chapter. To the second chapter we'll go. Okay, any doubts till now? Are we clear? Anybody in the
Syntax is for writing.
sorry?
Sorry, but syntax is for writing the data input, output, everything you have given in the last class
Yes,
test.
yes, yeah.
Right.
Okay, just go through the recordings.
By give.
You are today will
Okay.
receive the mail after the class.
Okay. Sir, do you have any group for
Yeah,
ABAP
I'll
classes?
add you. Okay, can you share your? I think I should have your number.
Okay.
Just share your
Have
WhatsApp.
you on day wise you have given?
Yes.
Sir?
Yeah, like this. One, two, three, 4, 5, like this. Okay, not so much is completed so far.
Okay.
Only 7 hours 30 minutes. Class is over.
7 classes only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Actually 12 classes, but only
Yeah.
7 hours. I was going slow because we had some idea that I know that people will join somewhere in the middle, so it should not affect them.
Yeah.
So what you can do is
Yes,
like
sir.
you don't have to worry about all these recordings for tomorrow's class. Okay, so just start from 8th recording, or from
8.
here, from the 6th one. You can ignore the previous. You
Okay.
can go and check that later whenever you get time.
Okay.
Start from here, 6th recording.
A downloading process, software installation process you have
How
been
to
given in
install and
6 onwards.
yes, from the 6th onwards.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'll give you the recordings after the class. Okay, so let's say interview questions.
Okay.
What is difference between uh, character and numeric character? What is difference between So these are the interview questions that you will get on the topic that we have covered so far. That's all guys, then for today. We'll start new chapter, the second chapter, from tomorrow onwards. Thank you so much for your time. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.
Tapas, can you please share your number in the chat?
Okay, sir. Let me.
Otherwise, this is my number. Just ping me hi in WhatsApp.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Just ping me hi in WhatsApp. Okay, this is my number.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay then, bye bye.